Hi, I'm Brad Simpson, and today I'm going to paint a Jaguar. I'm using acrylics, and I'm going to put in my sky real fast using a true blue and titanium white and an apricot color. I'm just going to blend it all together. I want a very interesting misty look for my jungle here in the background. I'm laying in some mountains using true blue and a little white, and here we have leaf green with titanium white. And I'm going to drop in some vines using black, dark brown, and a little wasabi green for the highlights. And using a fine brush, I'm going to drop in a few little more details on the bottom just to show that these are jungle vines. I'm dropping in some leaves using plantation pine and true green. And I figure in my jungle scene here, the Jaguar is going to be in front of some old Mayan ruins. So I'm going to put in some old decrepit bricks. And got to give him a place to sit, to lay down on. So I'm going to put a big tree branch crossing my canvas here. I'm using brown, wasabi green, and black. Here I've put in a little oil paint, some titanium white, and I'm blending it with my finger. And I'm using a mixture of blue and green here to put in the underlying base colors of where my leaves are going to go. These vines are creeping, crawling all over my old ruins. And of course these are just various greens with white as the highlight color where the sunlight's hitting it. I get my base color for the leaves down on top of the shadows. And I start adding details, fine details. And of course I'm time-lapsing for the purposes here. It took days just to do these leaves, about 2 days, 4 hours each. I'm adding some smaller leaves here, some vines creeping down. And I just begin to paint in some undergrowth. I'm using acrylics for this. This is actually part 2 of a 2-part series. The first one was colorful parrots. I did 2 macaws, and you'll find that on my video list too if you're interested. And these two will complement each other, these 2 paintings. And I drop in some undergrowth, some thick vegetation that you would find in a tropical rainforest. Of course, this is just my background. Drawing in some far away trees way back in the distance. I have an idea of where my Jaguar is going to lay, but I'm just going to go ahead and put in the background first and then work forward. And again, for all these trees in the background, I use just a mixture of plantation pine, leaf green, and wasabi green with a little white. Here I added some cracks to my bricks. And I'm going to go ahead and put in the outline of my Jaguar using a very light beige color with white. I just paint him in where I know he's going to sit, or lay rather. Stretch that on the old branch. I'm using white for the highlight areas. And just putting in some rough details. I don't know exactly where this fellow is going to sit, but this will give me an idea of where I want to lay him. And I'm using sunburst orange here to put in the nose and just add a few rough ideas. He looks very abstract at this point. But as I say, this just gives me an idea. I'm using titanium white for his underbelly and his chest. These are such beautiful creatures. Such beautiful, beautiful animals. And here's titanium white for the insides of the ears. Acrylics tend to dry much darker than what they are when they apply. So it's usually necessary to do several coats. I'm going in, just starting to add a few details to his muzzle here. See, already you see he's starting to take form. Right now he's the color of a mountain lion. Jaguars are a little more orange in real life, and you'll see as this painting progresses, he will become a little more orange. Right now I'm adding in the shadows using blue and white and even a little black to get a little gray color. For my grays, I always mix black and white to certain degrees depending on how dark or light I want it. And using a fine brush, I'll lay in the ear hairs. And now this is called tangerine orange. It's a real dark orange color. And I'm mixing that with tangerine orange and a little beige and white. Just getting that base coat just right, because these are such beautiful creatures. It takes a lot of time just to get the base right, but it's so worth it if you have the patience to do. And just blend it. Again, I'm going back over with titanium white around the eyes, putting in a little more detail. This is just a gray color, mixed with some wasabi green. It's been reflected from what he's looking out at in the jungle. A little spring green in there too, where his irises reflect the surroundings. And for his pupils, just flat black. Again, at this point, it's so very abstract, but you'll see as the painting progresses, it really starts to take a life of its own. It just takes a lot of time. This took about a week, just because of all the fine little details. Using a nose with orange, and on top of the orange, I'm using a light pink. I mix most of my colors, and I just use red with a lot of white for the nose. And a fine brush for the details down here, just a lot of little fur hairs and shadows. A lot of blending. I start adding the finer details. On his face, you'll find a lot of dots and lines. Jaguars are found mainly in southwestern United States, Mexico, and Central America, as seen on the map just then. On his body, his rosettes are much larger, and in comparison to a leopard, you'll find the rosettes are larger, and they even have dots in the middle, whereas leopards, their rosettes are much smaller and never have dots in the middle. Jaguars are beautiful, beautiful creatures. They're the third largest feline in the world after the tiger and lion. For his tail is a mixture of stripes and dots. These are powerful creatures. They're the largest cat in the Americas. And I add orange into the middle of the rosettes. And then I go back with fine little detail and add the fur, the hair. The Jaguar's bite is exceptionally powerful. It can actually bite through a bowling ball. It has that much power. It's even more powerful than that of a lion and tiger. They're swimmers too. That's unusual for cats. They have that in common with tigers. I'm adding some leaves and some bright flowers to garnish the sides of them, just to add a little more color to the picture. I really enjoyed this painting. It was a lot of work, but a lot of fun. And I hope you've had fun too. You can find this and other paintings at fineartamerica.com. Just click the link below in the description. Thanks so much for watching.